So you hear about mortgage fraud, real estate fraud, scams, things like that all the time. But you think, does that kind of stuff really happen? I'm going to share with you an experience that Michelle and I had last week. We had a client. I have a client. I have his house listed, and he happens to work at a car dealership. So he had called me last week and he was like, "Hey, I've got some people here and they were talking about they're looking for a house in this area and he seems to like the lake. Do you think you could meet him at the house and show it to him?" I'm like, "Sure." So I had him give me their contact info. We met these folks at the house last week, walked them through it, and it's over $500,000 house, so it's not like cheap by any means. So the lot next to it is also available, and it's priced probably $75,000, $80,000. And so this guy is like, "Yep, I like it." So he wants to write a cash offer on the house, full list price. He also wants to buy the lot next to it. And then he's talking about another piece of property down in Jefferson County that he's wanting to buy as well. And I mean, all in all, we're adding this up, and it's going to be like over $1 million that he's trying to spend right now. Plus the fact that he had told the guy at the car dealership, that's my client, they were going to buy two brand new cars from them. And he was working a deal with my seller to buy his furniture and the Harley Davidson motorcycle and all this good stuff. I'm sitting here thinking something's not right. Something just doesn't add up with this because nobody goes out and just drops over $1 million on a bunch of brand new stuff. People who have money for a reason. Is because they don't spend frivolously. So mine and Michelle, both our radars were kind of like just going off on this whole scenario of where did he get this money? Why is he spending it so loosely? So we have an app that we use through our association. It's called Forewarn, and it allows us to do a phone number search, and you can pull people up and you can see like if they've had recent bankruptcies, if they've had recent foreclosures, and you can see what kind of criminal activity is associated with that person. So I did that for this individual, and they had 19 criminal infractions against them. And most of them were theft over $10,000, forgery, possession and selling of a Schedule II drug, lots of different things on this rap sheet. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, this guy don't have this money. I don't know how he thinks this is going to end up, but he don't have the money to buy this house. So he wrote the offer, but Michelle had told him, you're going to have to provide proof of funds before we're going to respond to the offer and accept it. So when I got that report back, I kind of messaged my guy and was like, "Hey, did they ever come and actually pay you to get those cars?" And he was like, "Well, no, they came yesterday, but said they hadn't moved the money from the right account." And I said, "Well, I'm going to send you an email and I want you to read it and let me know what you think." So I sent him that report by the email. And he was just blown away because he was like, he felt so confident that this guy was honest and truthful and upfront. And he was nothing but a scammer. And again, I don't really know how he thought that end game was going to come out, because were you going to give us a false bank statement? How were you going to prove you had the money to buy the house? But anyway, real estate is never boring when you think you've seen it all and you know anything that somebody's possible to do, you find out otherwise. So real estate's not always a legitimate game. There's going to be scammers at every turn, and as an agent, it's our job to help protect our sellers, which we certainly did in this case.